Okay. Thank you. This is the regular meeting of the City of Southfield Planning Commission for December 16th, 2020, conducted via teleconference. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call, please, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Mr. Culpepper.
Here.
Dr. Stevens-Gunn.
Here.
Mr. Griffith.
Here.
Mr. Huntington.
Present.
Mr. Martin.
Present.
Miss Mia. Okay, no Miss Mia. Mr. Willis.
Here.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum to conduct business this evening.
Okay, can we have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I would move
To the
for the
chair.
approval of agenda dated December 16th, 2020.
Support, Commissioner Culpepper.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Willis and supported by Commissioner Culpepper. We have a roll call vote.
Yes. Mr. Culpepper.
Yes.
Dr. Stevens-Gunn.
Yes.
Mr. Huntington.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Willis.
Yes.
And Mr. Griffith.
Yes.
All right, sir, you have an approval for your agenda.
Any announcements or communications?
None that I have at the moment, sir.
Okay. The first item was PZR 20-0004.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, this particular item, along with its I'll call it a sister item, PSP 20-0013. This is a rezoning request for the Regency Manor. This particular item is actually not going to be discussed. As we've talked in the past, the petitioner has decided, at least for the time being, to forgo the rezoning request and then the site plan for new parking both on the Regency Manor site as well as on a vacant lot down the street on Dufty. So with regard to this particular item, PZR 20-0004 and then PSP 20-0013, the Planning Department is recommending a postponement to no date certain on both of these items. For any public that might be listening or watching this evening, basically what that means is, should the Planning Commission postpone to no date certain, you will be re-notified as to when this particular item comes back to the Commission. So just as you were for the November meeting and then for this meeting, you will get brand new notices letting you know when this would come forward. So, Mr. Chairman, again, the Planning Department is recommending postponement to no date certain for PZR 20-0004 and then for PSP 20-0013. And we would like to have you make a recommendation on those separately, please.
Okay. Through the chair,
Okay.
Commissioner Huntington,
Go ahead, Commissioner Huntington.
I would like to make a motion to postpone PZR 20-0004 to a date uncertain, and also PSP 20-0013 postponed to a date uncertain.
Committee Chair, this is Commissioner Willis. I support.
Okay. Let's handle the first one first. PZR 20-0004. Got a motion by Commissioner Huntington, second by Commissioner Willis. And can we have a roll call vote?
Yes, sir. Dr. Stevens-Gunn.
Support.
Mr. Huntington.
Support.
Mr. Martin.
Support.
Mr. Willis.
Support.
Mr. Culpepper.
Support.
And Mr. Griffith.
Support.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, PZR 20-0004 is postponed to date uncertain. Now we can move to the PSP 20-0013.
Okay. Can we have We have Commissioner Willis. You want to second that one also?
I second that.
Okay, so the original motion by Commissioner Huntington, seconded by Commissioner Willis, and the roll call vote.
Okay, and again, this is to postpone to a date uncertain. Mr. Willis,
Support.
Mr. Culpepper,
Support.
Dr. Stevens Gunn,
Support.
Mr. Huntington,
Support.
and Mr. Griffiths.
Support.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, PSP 20-0013 is also postponed to no date certain.
To the chair,
Okay.
this is Commissioner Martin.
Yes.
I'd like to offer my support to that also.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry that I missed you on that. Apologize.
No problem. No problem.
All right. Moving on to the next item, PSLU 20-0011.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this item is the special use request for the petitioner Southfield Industrial Park on the west side of Telegraph Road between 8 Mile and Hazelhurst. So the proposal is for the construction, at least in the first phase, of a 125,876 gross square foot storage facility with first floor retail and outdoor storage. Just keep in mind, outdoor storage is a permitted use already in industrial. That's just added there just so the public and the planning commission knows that they are looking for outside storage on the site. So again, the petitioner is seeking as a permitted use outside storage, and then special uses of mini storage facility. Most of the mini storage facility is indoor access. There will be a small portion that will be outdoor access. They are also looking for retail as well as fast food restaurants with drive-through. This is a little closer view of the property. You can see along Telegraph Road, there's a small strip center that's currently existing. That strip center would be removed should the city council approve the special land use and ultimately the administrative site plan gets reviewed and approved. That strip center would be removed as a part of the first phase. Property is zoned industrial, and this is the technology of the Southfield Telegraph Road corridor. Existing conditions for the site as it is right now, you can see the image of the small strip center that's there along Telegraph Road. And then beyond, you can just basically see open field along with some dirt piles, some spoils that are on the back of the property. So this is the proposal for first phase. You can see the building set back quite a distance from Telegraph Road. This would be the mini storage facility along with the first floor retail and a small office and apartment. The balance of the site then, they would be looking at, from a temporary standpoint, vehicle storage, both to the west and then to the south of the building that's proposed. And again, the petitioners noted that's temporary. They would like to continue to at least develop this site with additional buildings, whether they be industrial, technology. The storage portion is meant to be just a temporary use. So the close-up look of the Telegraph Road portion, again, with that strip center removed, that front portion would have future commercial use on it. Then you can see the proposed mini storage. This is kind of a phase two. And again, this is not set in stone from a standpoint of phase two. This is just kind of a rendering to give you an idea of the types of uses from a special use standpoint that they would like to see on the property. So again, proposed retail and then 2 restaurants with drive-through. Rendering of the building proposed, and then you can see the door that would lead to the interior storage portion, and then you can see some doors that would be available for exterior entry. Rendering of the existing of the proposed site. Rendering a close-up. And with that, I know that Mr. Eric Williams and Mr. Ricciato are both on the line as well to further explain their project. So, gentlemen, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, this is Richie. I want to thank you for the presentation. And it pretty much explains everything that we're proposing. Just want to reiterate that the outdoor storage will be temporary until such time as we could develop more industrial/technology type buildings on the site. And also the future outlots are subject to, full review by the planning department. We just wanted to let the commission know what the thought is for the future, but we'd actually like to start on the 3-story building as soon as we could seek the necessary approvals. And if anybody has any questions, we'll be happy to try to answer them best we can.
So through the chair, since this is special land use, it'd be appropriate to have the public hearing open first, get comments, and then the commission can ask questions.
Okay. At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Jeff, could you relay the call-in number and information?
Yeah, in
See if
fact,
we have any public on the line.
let me go back a few slides here, and let me at least show that particular number at the beginning. It's shown at the very beginning here. So in order to be a part of the public hearing on this particular item, the WebEx number to call in is 1-415-655-0001. And then when prompted, put in the access code 179-592-1364. Again, WebEx number 1-415-655-0001 with the access code 175-592-1364. And with that, Mr. Chairman, we'll wait a couple minutes and see if we have any public that would like to give their opinion with regard to this particular item.
To the chair, I'd
Yes.
like to make a correction. The second time Jeff said the access code is 179, not 175.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Martin. I appreciate that.
No problem.
And this is Planner Crode. Again, I want to remind the commission that you're authorizing or making a recommendation on the special land uses only and not the site plan. However, if there's reasonable conditions such as hours of operation, you can make that as part of your recommendation. And I would say, Eric and Richie, I want this, even though I have admin site plan review, I want to make sure that it's in approvable form prior to going to council. So if you could work with Jeff, make sure all the detailed site plan issues with regards to phase 1 are in proper order. And as soon as the special land use has been acted upon on council, I'd be prepared to sign the admin review the next day if everything's been satisfied.
And I guess with that being said, Jeff, I believe we resubmitted you guys the full document set. Is that still under review? Is that just so I understand correctly?
Well, yeah, so you should have gotten comments initially with the plans that you originally submitted. I would have sent you the letter that I sent out was based upon not only the special land use, but the site plan that you had presented at the time. So did you make revisions to the special land use document already?
Yeah, I believe we did revise and resubmit based on the letter that we had received. And I think we had mailed those back to your guys' office on...
Okay, we
can touch base. That's fine.
Yep.
We
we can touch base on that.
Yeah, Eric, I just wanted to mention, just because we're already at minimum crew in the office, and with the holidays, we'll still have time after the new year, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Completely understand. Thank you.
Okay, so just want to check and see, do we have anyone on the line from the public who would like to make a statement with regard to this item? And I'm not hearing any, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
So the time frame is that couple minutes is up.
Okay. I'll close the public hearing at this time. Open up to the commission for any comments or questions.
Commissioner Huntington, through the chair. Okay, I have no problem with this special land use. I think it's good use of this land. There's plenty property there. It's definitely time for updating that area. But as far as the size and character and intensity of this project, I think it fits the site well and it meets all the special land use standards. Thank you.
This is Geraldine Stevens Gunn to the chair.
Go ahead.
I'd just like to ask the petitioners, could they share an update of a timeline just so that the public can hear that as well?
Yes, regarding the first phase, which is the 3-story building, the plan is to start immediately upon final approval. So that would be obviously, this action tonight of the special land use, and then it would have to go to the council as well. And then when should the council approve it, we would submit construction drawings for the building department as well as engineering to review. And upon approval, we plan to start, within 30 days after that. I'm not quite sure what the normal review times are these days, but I would suspect that it could be somewhere between 30 to 45 days to review with all the departments, including planning, because planning will be doing some more, apparently, site plan reviewing to make sure that we comply with all the comments.
Yeah, if I could, Planner Crode, Richie, if council approves this on by the end of January, usually it takes us about a week to have the clerk sign off on the plans, and you guys can submit concurrently if you want to with the building and engineering department for their approvals or shortly thereafter. But I do want to make sure we have on the record, what are your proposed hours of operation?
So the proposed hours of operation, I sent to Jeff. I believe it's, generally speaking, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the reason I say that is because there's times when certain tenants need access after hours, but it wouldn't just be, you come in and go as you please after those hours. They could have access, but with special arrangements made with the management.
Well, let me just ask, because let's just say that's true. Is there an end time? Like, say it's generally closed to the public at 8 p.m., but
Yes.
someone needs to get in there later. Is there like an 11 p.m. end date to even for special arrangements? Because I just assume have you get approved till 11 p.m. if there's the possibility that someone could be coming after 8 p.m. I've had to use these things where you punch in a code, access code, and in theory, you got either you have 24/7 access, or they say you're not in by 11 p.m. You can't get in until 7 a.m. the next morning.
I'm not sure how that would work right now, because if it would be through the code or because there's going to be, the plan is to have somebody on site. But there are times when people may need to get in after 11, but we don't see that happen very often. I mean, it might happen once a year, but
yeah,
I just don't want to say it's not going to happen and then mislead anybody, but it's highly, highly unlikely.
Right. With the exception of emergency situations, you've got a caretaker. Technically, he's there in case there's an emergency or some security issue, but it's got to be a reasonable time where he's not going to answer the door, quote unquote, at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I love that.
All I'm saying is, Richie, if it's realistic that You might have your internal policy 8 p.m., but if you think it's more likely based on trends that 11 p.m. is better suited, I would rather we make the recommendation 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. or whatever that is within reason, than, with the exception of, emergency situations, and then have the neighbors say, well, every night there's people there at 9, 10, 11 p.m. So.
I think to your point, Terry,
I
we
would
would
say
like a little
then-
more
then-
flexibility.
Then we would request that the hours be from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, I just think that's more reasonable of a request. This commission, when a restaurant wanted to only be open till 1 a.m., they said, well, isn't 2 a.m. more reasonable? So that's all I'm trying to get to. So I'm going to put you down as 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through
Okay.
Monday through
that.
Sunday,
Thank you.
right?
Monday
Chair.
through Saturday, right?
Monday through Saturday. It's closed on Sundays.
No, it'll probably be open till 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay, so
Because some of the residential tenants will only, they move and things like that on a Sunday.
Okay, so 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays.
Yes.
Okay, that's what's going to go as part of our recommendation.
Okay. Thank you.
To the chair, this is Commissioner Martin.
Yes.
A lot of storage facilities have the automated gates so that you have to put in a code to get in, even though they have, starting and ending hours, they still have the automated gates. Do you intend on having an automated gate for entrance into the storage facility?
Yes, we plan to. But that doesn't mean you can get into the automatic gates even with the correct code after the hours that were stated, because that would be disabled.
Yeah, and most of the facilities do have the entrance during the business hours, and they have the closed hours. So yeah, that's what I would be expecting also.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Richie, this is Planner Spence. Where would that gate be? Because based on the image I'm looking at here of the close up, I know that part of it is inside. So that would be a rolling door, probably of some kind, that you would have to put a code in for the door to go up.
Right.
But
That's
where
what
would
I
you
meant,
have
the
a quote unquote gate?
Well, it's more the overhead door. There's one to the north and one to the south.
Okay, so it's overhead door. Okay.
Right.
So your
Did we lose Terry?
Yeah, City Planner Crowd, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, Richie. You have units shown here in the diagram that are accessible on the exterior. Are those going to be 24/7 access?
No, we'll have to have a system whereby that portion is not accessible outside the hours that we talked about.
Okay,
So-
and again, if there's a gate or something that, I know you have a gate for the rear, if you need to put a gate or some type of a security in. And again, I've rented these when I had to move my mom, and so I'm very familiar with how these work and limited operations. You can always get out after hours, but you can't get in after a certain time. So again, that's something that we'd like to have worked out before the council makes their final approval. But I know it's very typical of many of these other storage units.
We will definitely work it out.
To the chair, one
Mr.
other.
Culpepper? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Martin. I didn't know you was finished.
One other thing is, as you mentioned, you have driveways indicated on both sides that are in entrance and exit, two-way traffic on both. So you are talking about having a gate or a door on both sides so that access won't be available, correct?
Correct. It'll be available, but also controllable.
And that's here again, and talking like an access code. That's the type of thing you'd have, and only through the business hours, correct? Would that be
Correct.
Okay.
So after the stipulated hours, the access code becomes
Inactive.
non-usable, inactive.
Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner Martin, are you finished?
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Culpepper?
Yeah, just a few questions. You said that mall would be torn down. Did I hear that correctly?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you know who owns the mall and those stores in there?
I don't know the individual tenants, but the owner of the property owns the existing center. And he's the same gentleman that's going to be developing the building that's before you.
Okay, that was my next question, was who owns the mall. So that's good, since he owns it, but turn that, okay. This especially use meets all the summer requirements, so I'm in accord with it. And as Commissioner Huntington says, it's a bright spot to the area. I like the design of the building. I think it'll be an enhancement to it. And coming down with that strip mall to put that in there, I agree with 100%.
Thank you very much.
I think it's great. Like I said, those two things about the hours of operation, Monday through Saturday, and the 7 to 6 on 10, I think it's good. So I'm ecstatic about it. I think it's a good fit for that area, and I think it'll really vitalize that area. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair. I'm finished.
Any other comments from the commission?
This is Commissioner Willis. I'm just in accord with it. I think it's going to be a real bright spot. So kudos to him, and I look forward to it being finished.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? All right. I too think it's going to be a good fit for this area and meets the special use standards that we've established. Are we prepared? Could we have the recommendation from the planning department, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will be adding one more recommendation to the list that's before you, but the planning department does recommend favorable consideration of the special use request of Southfield Industrial Park LLC to construct a 125,826 square foot, 3-story multi-use building with storage, retail, office, and apartment in phase 2 development to include 2 restaurants with drive-through and 2 retail spaces. Property located 21315 Telegraph Road, Sidwell parcel 2432400-031, in vacant land, Sidwell parcel 2432400-030, on the west side of Telegraph Road between 8 Mile Road and Hazelhurst, Section 32, City of Southfield, Oakland County, State of Michigan, for the following reasons and conditions. Subject to approval of PASP 20-0042 Administrative Site Plan Review by the City Planner. Submitted special use with any conditions recommended by the Planning Department and Planning Commission will be of such size and character that will be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the I-1 Industrial District. The location, size, intensity, and periods of operation of the proposed use is designed to eliminate any possible nuisance likely to emanate therefrom, which might be adverse to the occupants of any nearby permitted use. The proposed use is in accord with the spirit and purpose of this chapter and is not inconsistent with or contrary to the objectives sought to be accomplished by this chapter and the principles of sound planning. Proposed use is of such character and vehicular traffic generated will not have an adverse effect or be detrimental to the surrounding land uses or adjacent thoroughfares. Proposed use is such character and intensity and arranged on the site so as to eliminate any adverse effects resulting from noise, dust, glare, dirt, odor, or fumes. Proposed use will not be adverse to the promotion of the health, safety, and welfare of the community. Proposed use is designed and operated so as to provide security and safety to employees. And then the added condition, hours of operation shall be 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. And that concludes Planning Department's report.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
To the chair, Mr. Culpepper.
Yes.
I recommend favorable approval for PSLU 20-0011 with the 7 requirements that was so mentioned by the planning department.
Yes, support,
To the
Commissioner
chair.
Huntington.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Culpepper, seconded by Commissioner Huntington. We have a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Huntington,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Willis,
Yes.
Mr. Culpepper,
Yes,
Dr. Stevens Gunn,
Yes,
and Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, you have a favorable recommendation for PSLU 20-0011.
Okay, thank you, and good luck with the project.
Thank you very much, Commissioners
thank
and
you.
Jeff and Terry.
Thanks, everyone.
Excellent. Next item is PZR 20-0005.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the rezoning request of Ari Leibovitz, 29355 Northwestern Highway. So this is on the basically the south side of Northwestern Highway between 12 Mile and Inkster. The proposal is to rezone 5.094 acres of land from the current zoning of R2 single-family residential and P vehicular parking to B general business. This includes a recommendation from the planning department that was made last week to include a 50-foot wide parking buffer along the common property line with Pilots Cove condominiums. This is a closer look of the site itself. As you can see, the property has a fairly large building that's centered in the property, as well as another building closer to Northwestern Highway. Behind or to the south of the existing building is a parking lot that is currently zone parking, and then a vacant area that's currently heavily treed. Future land use standpoint, the property is, from future land use, regional mixed use. And then here's the current zoning of the property, as I noted, P vehicular parking and R2 single family residential. The proposal from the applicant, Mr. Leibovitz, was originally to make the entire site B3 general business. It would match up then with all the existing zoning within the area. The planning department did recommend a 50-foot parking buffer, as you can see on this property, that would be along the common property line with the RT or Pilots Cove. As you can see throughout that particular area, P vehicular parking has been a standard that's been established whenever you had B3 adjacent to a residential zoning district. The reason behind that was to at least provide some additional buffering between the B3 general business and then the residential for the protection of the residential, because within the zoning ordinance for B3, you can actually build, at least on your side yards, up to the property line. And this would at least provide some protection for the residents in Pilots Cove by adding that P vehicular parking portion of 50 feet wide. With that, I do know that Mr. Leibovitz is on the line. And Ari, if you would like to continue with the presentation from here, the floor is yours.
Thank you, members of the Planning Commission. I did accept the recommendation that was made last week, and I'm in agreement to provide the 50-foot parking buffer on the adjoining boundary between the TR at Pilot Cove and this petition. And I'm open to any question or comments that you might have.
To the chair is Commissioner Martin. Mr. Leibowitz, I think you are to be commended for following the plans and to being proactive in doing the rezoning of your land. And I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I may, through the chair, to the commission and to the chair, there is a public hearing that is required for this, so you may want to at least get the comments from the public before there's any further from the planning commissioners.
Okay, thank you. We will open up the public hearing at this time. And same process, you can call in and make comments, and we'll wait a few minutes. And Jeff, if you could just review those numbers again.
Yeah, I'll go back up to the top. I should probably add the numbers after each item or to each item. But for the public hearing, for those who are online who would like to voice or make any comments with regard to this item, the WebEx number you call in is 1-415-655-0001 with the access code 179-592-1364. Again, that WebEx number is 1-415-655-0001. And then when prompted, put in the access code 179-592-1364. And Mr. Chairman, we can wait a couple of minutes here to see if we have any public that would wish to express any questions, concerns, comments with regard to this item. So we'll wait a couple of minutes here. Yes, while we're waiting for additional people, do we have any public on the line at the moment who would like to speak to this item? All right, sir, so we'll wait another couple minutes. All right, I will just make one more comment. Do we have anyone on the line who would wish to make a comment with regard to this rezoning?
Rezoning?
And Mr. Chairman, I'm not hearing anyone speak up who would like.
Can you hear me? I'd like to make a comment. Is this the rezoning on the SP 200013?
Are you talking about the Regency Manor project?
Yes.
That item was handled at the beginning of the meeting. To make reference, both of those items, the rezoning request for the property on Dufty, as well as the site plan review request, both of those have been postponed to no date certain. So they were not discussed this evening. They may come up later on or next year in 2021. But the petitioner has decided to forego the rezoning request on the site plan at this time for those.
I apologize. I was late calling in. I appreciate your update.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ma'am, before you go, and that's okay. If they do reapply, which they'd have to do, we will renotice the neighborhood.
Thank you. That's very good. Thank you. Have a great evening and a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, it doesn't appear that we have any public online for this particular rezoning request.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing and open it up to the commission for comments. Questions?
To the chair,
To the
Commissioner
chair, just
Culpepper.
for the record, I
Go ahead.
Commissioner Culpepper
read
first,
it.
then Commissioner
No,
Martin.
no. Go ahead, Commissioner Martin. I was trying to wait on you, Commissioner Martin. Go ahead.
I was just going to reiterate my statement that I think that you're to be commended for bringing this up on yourself to change yourself and to include the parking buffer. And I think you're to be commended for it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
To the chair, Mr. Culpepper.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, again, as previously stated in the earlier meetings, you being proactive is very great because, like you said, at this particular time, you have no current project on there, but you want to be in compliance. So when it happens, you don't have to go back through the commission. But like Commissioner Martin just said, you are to be commended. And we have no doubt that you're going to be a great tenant because Commissioner Gunn has already stated that she is familiar with one of your buildings and what a great job you're doing. So we know you're going to be a great partner. And you will see by adopting this 50-foot buffer, you will see from the residents, that's a good thing. That will show that you are and want to be a good neighbor because when the public hearing comes up, Pilot Grove may have people there, but you are in accordance with trying to be proactive and trying to do something to accommodate them. So again, as previously stated, you ought to be commended because you are very proactive and you do and are planning on being a good neighbor. So thank you, and hopefully this goes through without any problems.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Your pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other comments? All right. All set on my end. We have a recommendation from the planning department.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So the recommendation from the planning department recommends favorable recommendation of PZR 20-0005 to rezone 5.094 acres of land from R2 single family residential and P vehicular parking to B3 general business with the recommendation to add a 50-foot wide P vehicular parking buffer along the common property line with Pilots Cove condominiums for the following reasons. Southfield Comprehensive Master Plan indicates regional mixed use for this property. Change in zoning would be compatible and similar with the adjacent zonings and land uses to the north, west, south, and east. Proposal is in accordance with the standards for rezoning of the property, and the 50-foot wide P vehicular parking zone would provide a buffer between Pilots Cove property and where a building could be constructed or built on the subject property. And that concludes the planning department's recommendation.
Thank you. We have a motion.
To the chair, motion to approve PZR 20-0005.
Support. This is Commissioner Willis.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner Willis. And we have a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Martin.
Support.
Mr. Willis.
Support.
Mr. Culpepper.
Support.
Dr. Stevens Gunn.
Support.
Mr. Huntington,
Support.
and Mr. Griffiths.
Support.
Mr. Chairman, you have a favorable recommendation for PZR 20-0005.
Okay, thank you. Good luck with the future of the project.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the members' support, and I wish you all a happy, healthy holiday.
And same to you, sir.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Same to
you.
you.
All right, next, approval of the minutes from November 4th, 10th, and 18th.
To the chair,
Yes.
I recommend approval of November 24th, 2020, study meeting, November the 10th, 2020, special meeting, and November the 18th, 2020, regular meeting.
Support.
Commissioner Huntington.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Culpepper, supported by Commissioner Huntington. We have a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Willis,
Support.
Mr. Culpepper,
Support.
Dr. Stevens Gunn,
Support.
Mr. Huntington,
Support.
Mr. Martin,
Support.
and Mr. Griffiths.
Support.
All right, so you have approval of your minutes.
Okay, next, general public comment section. If we
Yes,
can,
thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those who are currently online, should you have any comments that you would like to make to the Planning Commission, you'll have 3 minutes to do so. We'd ask that you provide your name and a phone number for the record. I'm sorry, name and address for the record. And then you'll have 3 minutes. The number to call in is similar to the number for the public hearings that we just held. So you would call 1-415-655-0001, and then when prompted, put in the event or the access number 179-592-1364, and then follow the prompts with that as well. And Mr. Chairman, as you know, there's a little bit of a delay between this meeting and the next one. This meeting and the one that's online, excuse me. So if we can just wait a couple of minutes and see if we have any public that would like to provide any comment. We can wait a couple of minutes and come back to you when that time is over.
Okay, thank you.
I will ask while we're waiting, do we have any public currently on the line that would like to make a public comment? All right, sir, so currently no one on the line, and we'll just wait another minute or so. Okay, I'll just make one more request. Do we have anyone on the line for public comment? And Mr. Chairman, it doesn't appear that we have anyone on the line for the public comment portion.
Okay, that section is now closed. Next, miscellaneous items. Any miscellaneous?
I don't have any unless City Planner Crow does.
I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday season and safe and healthy 2021. This has been challenging for all of us personally and professionally. I want to thank and applaud you for continuing to serve the public through all these virtual meetings throughout the year. I'm really proud of the planning department team, as well as all the boards and commissions that have done a yeoman job under extraordinary circumstances to continue to provide top-notch services to the community, to work with our business communities, try to keep our tax base solid as possible under the circumstances. And I said earlier today, I think we're at mile 21 of a 26-mile race. We're mostly through it, but this is when it really gets tough. We got to bear down and be diligent until these vaccines can take hold and protect us. So we're close to seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but we still got a ways to go. So everyone be safe and enjoy the holidays the best you can.
Yeah, if I could just add another item, we will have a busy 2021 with the CIP coming up again, as well as the amendment to the master plan. So we do have some work ahead of us, especially in the first into the second quarter of next year. And again, I echo what Terry said with regard to working under the circumstances that we did, under the conditions that we did. I think we made the best of it, and I applaud you for sticking with it, for being patient with us through this process, as well as we tried to figure out how to do these meetings and make sure that we were in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. So again, thank you to the planning commissioners for your work over this last year, and especially since March and April. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And other than that, your next meeting will be, the first meeting of 2021 will be January 13th.
I'd like to say, I thank you guys for leading us so well. We wouldn't have done as well as we've done without your leadership. Thank you very much.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, definitely. It was a challenging year, but glad it's almost over. Let's hope for a better 2021. Everybody enjoy the holidays.
And just to add,
Thank you. Same to you and everyone else.
Okay, guys, be safe.
Everyone has always been professional, and so I appreciate that. So great, everyone have a great holiday.
And I just want to close this out by saying thank you to Chair Griffiths. I think you've done a marvelous job this year, even with your reluctance to take it. You've done a remarkable job, especially during this time of virtual visits. I applaud you, and I think you've done an outstanding job. And along with what the other guys said with the leadership and your guidance, I think you've done great. So just want to pass that along to you, and hope everybody have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you all get webcams for Christmas so we can see everybody's face on the screen. That would be a lot easier. There's
You got to change the format then.
just talking at a wall here is kind of tough.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
All right, good evening.
Believe it or not, I've been told to get my own PC for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Everybody, meeting adjourned. Thank you.